Right, the word settle typically has a negative connotation, right? We settle for an imperfect relationship or for a less than we're worth offer at work. And when it comes to our homes, a foundation that is settling, yeah, that's far from ideal. So let's talk about ways to fix at least one of those issues, right? With Wes Martin of Midstate Basement Systems here in this sponsored segment. Good to see you, Wes.
Hey, thanks for having us back.
All right, so you can't obviously help people, find a better partner, but you can help them with their foundations, right? And why should we worry so much about what's going on with our foundation, Wes?
Well, we're at the end of a 3-year drought here in Central Ohio. Everyone knows, your grass got real brown.
Yeah.
Well, that dirt really dried up. So we're doing foundation work today that we've dug almost 5 or 6 feet deep, and there's no moisture at all in the soil.
Wow.
So that means that, foundations that are sitting in that are starting to sink. As you're going around, as people are going around doing their final fall cleanup with leaves, they need to look and see if they're seeing any cracks in the foundations above the dirt line, and get us out to at least advise them, because rain is going to come at some point.
Right, and that's the thing, so you will notice, I'm sure, if there is a crack, if you go and look. Are there other things that you should maybe look for, things that people don't always realize that means something might not be right in the foundation?
Yeah, if they go into their basements and they see the walls moving inward or cracking or bowing.
Like a bowing, yeah.
Those are all signs of some potential, could be very minor, or could be a major issue. Most of our clients that we've had to do big projects wish they would have had us come out 5 or 6 years prior, so we can at least done some, or at least advise them to do some minor repairs to make sure it never got worse.
Are these happening just in older homes? I feel like that's when you start to be kind of more aware of things, right? When your home gets maybe 20 years, or can these happen in any home?
They can happen in a brand new 2 or 3 year old house.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just dependent on the soil and how it was built?
It depends upon how much moisture. We have a very unique soil here. It's called loam. It's glacially deposited soils. We have clay and a very big mix of peat moss in the clay. So that peat moss swells and contracts, and it dries when it has no moisture. So it's a very active, reactive soil that depends upon how much moisture is in it, what it can do. You can avoid a lot of these big repairs just by making sure you do some preventive maintenance.
Okay, and let's talk about that part first before we get to maybe the bigger solutions then. What are things people can be doing to maybe prevent that? Or if they see a crack, should they address it before they see 2, 3, 4 of them, right?
Well, one, almost 80% of all homes in Central Ohio have sump pumps, and they haven't been working because it hasn't been raining.
Yeah.
Well, if it starts raining and maybe that pump isn't working, we've been to many homes, friends like you that we've been to homes, like, hey, you have a sump pump there and you have a beautiful finished basement. You got to make sure that you're protected and that thing is working. So that, making sure that the downspouts are not dumping water beside the building, making sure the grade is not negative, bringing water back toward these foundations that, can ultimately cause bigger problems.
And so when you do notice there is a big problem, you mentioned maybe a bowing wall, maybe, it moving away and you have a big crack, what are the solutions? Is it something that people should be worried, like, I'm going to have to rebuild my whole home? Like, you have ways to repair that, right?
Right. Rarely you're going to have to rebuild your home, and rarely is your house going to fall into the ground.
Right,
This is not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is 1 to 2 inch settlement, which causes cracks inside. People have brand new countertops, they get damaged, their cabinets get out of whack because the foundation's sinking. So, these repairs, I always look at it as, hey, you need to know what you actually have.
Yeah.
And you need to know what it actually will cost, because otherwise you're sitting around worrying about a fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And that oftentimes doesn't come true unless you have a professional like my team to come out. We're going to be very honest. We give a free evaluation, and if you don't want us to do the repairs, so be it, but at least you're going to get a good, honest evaluation.
And I know that power bracing, that's kind of one of your solutions, right, Wes, that you guys can implement. So like I said, there are ways that you can help people fix whatever the problem is, whether it is minor or major.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either way.
Perfect. All right. And free inspection so you can come out and kind of give people the lay of the land, so to speak.
Right. I mean, we've spent a lot of money on our employees.
Yeah.
Our employees, are our company, and we've cared about them and loved on them and trained them up, and they're going to come out and do the same thing for local homeowners.
Okay, perfect. All right. All the information there on screen to get in touch with Wes and his team. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much.